Hello, this is Dmitry, and today I wanted to talk to you about my new Sigma 100 to 400 millimeters lens. I, until recently, had always used my Sigma 150 to 600 Contemporary lens, and the problem with my Sigma 150 to 600, in addition to size and weight, was that truly it was not optically satisfactory to me between 400 and 600 millimeters. At the end of the focal length, they're at past 400, and the closer you get to 600, it was not very sharp optically. At the tail end, at 600, it was basically soft, whether you stop it down or not. At least my sample, it was just not that great between 400 and 600. So I kept looking, and I've noticed that Sigma came up with this new 100 to 400, and I thought to myself, well, if my 150 to 600 is only sharp between 150 to 400, why? And this new Sigma 100 to 400, according to almost all the reviews, is very sharp throughout and all the way up until 400. Why do I need a larger and heavier lens when I can get a cheaper, lighter in weight lens that is just as sharp at 400 as my 150 to 600, and the 400 to 600 on my 150 to 600 is useless. So I sold my 150 to 600, and instead I bought my new 100 to 400. Here's the difference in size and weight. The 150 to 600 Contemporary, that's the lens I had, Sigma, is 1930 grams and 260 millimeters long, 26 centimeters long. The new Sigma 100 to 400 that I got is 1160 grams and 180 centimeters long. So it is basically 18 centimeters long versus 26, and it is 1160 gram versus 1930 grams. So basically it's half the weight of the old lens. And I'm thinking, and its cost right now $699. So it's cheaper than the 150 to 600. So I have the cheaper, lighter lens that is just as sharp. Is that too good to be true? Well, today I took it out with my Canons and my Sony A7RIII. So let's go and try to shoot some birds or other items and see if this new lens is just as sharp as the reviews would tell you. Also, what are the other choices in 100 to 400 for Sony A7RIII and my Canon? Well, there is this Canon makes a great 100 to 400 L version 2. That's $21.99. Sony makes one that's $25.99, and the Sigma is $699. So that's, what, four times less. But is it good? So let's go and check it out. So this is how the lens looks like on my camera with the hood reversed. As you can see, it's not that large. There is no tripod mount, and that may be a problem for some of you, but I'm thinking with a 930 grams, it's not gonna break my camera mount. At least it doesn't feel heavy. Here you can see this lens 100 to 400 with hood on. This is the this lens I'm gonna be shooting handheld all the way. The filter size, by the way, is 67 millimeters, so it's pretty common. It's not 95 like on 150-600, so 67 millimeter filter thread. So without further ado, I'm gonna go and try to take some photos, starting with my Canon Rebel. My Canon Rebel, this 400 makes it what, a 640, and I'm gonna shoot it, of course, wide open because I want to see how sharp it is at 400 millimeters wide open. Here's how this lens looks like on my Canon 5D Mark III. One thing that I can tell about 5D Mark III is that autofocusing with this lens and 5D Mark III just feels so much better and faster than with my Canon T7i. Even though T7i has this pretty modern autofocus system with 40-some plus cross type points, on a 5D Mark III, it just seems that it gets that the focusing is just faster, and it pulls into a focus just quick and smooth, and just so much better. So let me try to take some pictures with the 5D Mark III in this lens. Well, this is how the Sigma 100 to 400 looks like on MC11 adapter and my Sony A7RIII, as you can see. One thing I've noticed about the lens that I don't like is that it creeps. It creeps a lot. So if you lift it up, you actually have to kind of hold the zoom ring, because otherwise, if you don't, you can see it goes back to 100. So if you're shooting birds or something that is up there and you're not careful and you're not holding it like this, which is not hard, I can hold it, but you let it go and it goes down. And same thing when you have the lens pointed down. There's a lock, but it doesn't lock at any focal length. It just locks at 100. But so you have to be careful when you're shooting up, otherwise you see what happens. Hello, I'm back from the park with my three cameras: 5D Mark III, T7i, and Sony A7RIII. Trying on that Sigma 100 to 400 contemporary lens, and here are some of my results. I'm very excited about what I'm seeing. The sharpness is just perfect, wide open at 400, just what I was expecting, and I got it. Here's 5D Mark III at 400 millimeters, wide open, 6.3. Look at the 100%. Look at the no dogs allowed. It's perfect. Sharpness, wide open. Love it. This is Rebel T7i. So this is effective 640 millimeters. Wide open. Excellent sharpness. Wow. This is my Sony A7RIII or i7 Mark III. And with Sigma MC11 adapter, 400 millimeters at 6.3, wide open. Boom. This is great. Sharpness, couldn't be happier. Let's look at some of the examples from both cameras, from actually all three cameras. 5D Mark III, this is wide open, ISO 800, 345 millimeters. Look at the eyes. Oh, so sharp. Look, ISO 1000, 5D Mark III. Perfect focus on the eyes. Here's another one. Perfect sharpness. From far away, couple of photographs. Birds in flight. It's from really far. Yet it's sharp. Love it. Okay, let's look at Rebel T7i. So this is what I'm gonna use it mostly with. Look at the detail in this bird. This is ISO 2000, by the way. Look at the detail. This is at 400 millimeters, wide open. Amazing. Duck. Look at this duck at 100. Look at the eye. Everything is sharp. And we're talking ISO 1000. Alright, let's see. 361 millimeters. ISO 2500. Boom. The sharpness is just mind-boggling. Wow. I'm floored with this lens. This is a $699 lens. Here's a bird in flight on Rebel T7i. Perfectly in focus. Perfect contrast and sharpness. There's a little finch. Also wide open. I'm happy with this. This is great. Whoa. Let's see. Bird in flight. We can actually see the feet. Wow. Well, what can I tell you? I'm so excited and I'm so happy that I sold Sigma 150-600 and bought 100-400 instead. It's much lighter. It's very sharp, wide open. Gives me the same 600 millimeters when I pair it with my Canon T7i. The autofocus works great. With my Sony A7RIII and MC11 adapter, I was able to track birds, and I'll show you that right now. This is Sony A7R Mark III. Look at the detail. Wow. Here's a bird in flight. Perfectly sharp. Why not? Here's some little bird. I don't even know what it is, but the camera captured it. Here's back of that same bird. Oh, this is so good. Pelican. There's a little yellow bird. Look at that. Focusing is fine. Focusing is great, despite the fact that I'm shooting under all sorts of tree branches. Look at the focus on the eye of that bird. Couple of more photographs of a finch. Look at the sharpness. This is wide open, 400 millimeters f6.3 ISO 800. Well, this is with the Sony A7R Mark III. This is just gorgeous. So happy with this lens. Highly recommend it. It's a no-brainer. Run and buy this lens. This is so good. I'm sure the Canon's 100 to 400 is just as good, if not better. And the Sony 100 to 400 is great too, but they're so much more expensive than the Sigma. I'll go with Sigma if it was me, and I did go with Sigma. If you have any questions, let me know by comments, and please subscribe to my channel. This is again Sigma 100 to 400 Contemporary.